Hello and welcome back, everybody, to episode 2. No, wait, episode 3. Episode 2 that I'm recording, but it is episode 3 of 7 Days. So, last time we arrived with a boss in Savionok after nearly gotten beaten to death, or maybe even gotten beaten to death. We met Slavia, who is currently showing us around camp. We met Uljana and Lena, who are pretty much the same as they are in the original game. Lena is probably a psychopathic bitch, but she acts like a crybaby. And Uljana is probably full of excitement and animals and insects. And Slavia's best girl. So let's see if everything I'm saying is correct. And let's see who will meet this episode as well. And strange, indistinct thoughts crept into my head by themselves. Girl. Pretty. Not even pretty. I have never seen such beauty in reality. And on the screen, I would have decided that it was photoshopped. Xana probably could compare to her. But for this, she would have to lose 5 or 6 years. A magical age of somewhere between 15 and 30. Holding my hand. I wonder if we had the opportunity to get to know each other better, could we get something of a relationship? I didn't really flatter myself at my own expense. My attractiveness bordered on the plinth. But anything can happen in the world. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You're allowed to think that. If some beauty probably grabbed me quickly by the hand, I'd probably think the same for a second. You don't have to stare at the back of my head like that. She laughed. Why is he later? I mean, I guess she's tugging him along. Now let's take you to the squad leader, and then we'll see. Want me to show you around? Without waiting for my answer, she turned onto some kind of narrow path, and a few minutes later stopped near a conspicuous house. It's probably really a loading screen. No, but I can click it away. I don't know. I'm always a bit irritated that happens. I always think I did something wrong. The house was funny. The kind children usually draw. Triangular with one door. Nah, man, I always have drawn rectangles. It and the lilac bushes, conquering space for themselves, formed into a still life of amazing beauty, worthy of the brush of any artist. Or was it a landscape? What are you waiting for? Let's go. I was brought out of my game. Ah, there we go. Then a thought came into my head that I probably should have voiced. At least out of courtesy. I furrowed. It's not like I'm insisting, but we haven't introduced ourselves yet, yes? She bursts into laughter. Yeah, right, sorry. I'm Slaviana. Got it. I shut up, and was silent for a long time. Until the girl's patience ran out. And you going to say, nice to meet you? How wonderful. It is nice, or is it? Yeah, I agreed. After waiting a bit, the girl waved her hand. Apparently she realized that I'm hopeless. Simeon. Even I can say. Especially to Slavia. Меня зовут Simeon. Очень приятно. Or something like that. It's a long time since I last looked that up. Everyone in the camp calls me Slavia. Just in case you're interested. Without waiting for my answer, she pushed the door, and I had no choice but to follow her. Inside, the house looked exactly as expected. 2 beds, a table, chairs, a couple of cabinets, and a poster with the incomparable Jean Marais Es Phantomas. You know, I always expected that to be out of a movie. But this again being such a famous movie and me not knowing shows once again that I have no idea about movies. Nothing supernatural, although in terms of messiness, this house could easily rival my apartment. It doesn't look that messy. Oh well. Near the window stood a girl about my age, reading something in a diary. And of course, like all the other representatives of the fair sex that I met here, nature did not deprive her of either face or figure. Although I guess figure has a lot to do with eating habits. Oh well. The only pleasing thing, I will be dying in the company of beautiful ladies. If I will, of course. Ah, here you are. The bus came about an hour ago. Where were you all this time? Don't tell me you were sleeping. Well, yeah. Alright, sleepyhead. My name is Olga Dmitrievna, and I'm your squad leader. You seem like you're already familiar with Slavia. She is my assistant. So, if any questions arise, you can ask her. Slavia smiled. Apparently they thought it was very funny. Well, I decided to play along. Squad leader, right, and I'm apparently a pioneer? Don't twist words. You are now a part of the squad. Thus, I must make an exemplary pioneer out of you. Oh, please, would you look at me? Frankly, I started scoffing already. Do I look like a pioneer? Olga was silent for a couple of minutes, thoughtfully studying my face, and as if that wasn't enough, Slavia also walked around me. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but you do look like one. I think so too. Alright, girls. I decided to curtail this amateur performance. You joked, I laughed, show's over. You're rambling. Should I go get the nurse? Good thinking, Slavia. Please bring Dr. Viola here. Slavia reacted strangely to the word doctor, looked sideways at the squad leader, and raised her eyebrow in a silent question. Yeah, I think she wasn't a doctor in the original game either, but oh well. What was she, a nurse? But without waiting for an answer, went out into the street. What, Dr. Viola? Are you all out of your mind here? Stop it, it's not funny anymore. I stopped when Olga crossed the room with 2 quick steps and, taking me by my shoulder, turned me to the mirror. Oh, my fuck. I refused to believe what I saw in the mirror. A comrade of 18 years old looked under from the banks as a slightly reduced relative to the real me. And here I was wondering why my pants were falling off, why my boots didn't sit right. Riddle of the earphones was, too, solved instantly. There was just a trifle left to realize. Is that me? The ceiling swirled and began to fall back. I don't know what you did to me, but give me back myself. Finally, the floor jumped up and with all its might hit me on the troubled head. Yeah, as if he needed another headshot. Slavia, when is Violetta... Jesus. Violetta... now we need to see the Cyrillic to actually... the Cyrillic to pronounce it correctly. Let's say Chernova. Or if it was, wouldn't they... How do they do that in English again? The problem is German transcribe Russian names differently than English. And then I'm always questioning myself with English names. Is it Chernova? Chernova? Let's go with Chernova for now. Or just Violetta in general. In 5 minutes. She said she needs to grab some medicine. If only she would be faster. I shook my head and tried to get up. Unfortunately, my strength completely left me, and all I could do was stare blankly at the ceiling. I felt someone gently squeeze my fingers. Please, don't worry, okay? I already called the nurse. She is the best here. She will instantly put you on your feet. Pioneer, do not console the boy. It can damage his self-esteem. Apparently, she knows about Semyon's small self-esteem. There was a new voice in the room. Oh, we have a new actor here. The local bestiary shines with variety. So, who will it be? Violetta Chernovna Collider? Jesus, fuck it. She winked. But you can just call me Viola, Pioneer. Her hands quickly ran over my body, checking reflexes, lymph nodes, breathing, although I could swear she was sexually harassing me. Jesus fucking Christ. Well. I blushed deeply, and Slavia, seeing my reaction, seems to have guessed something and looked suspiciously at the nurse. Violetta, what can you say about Semyon's condition? A regular healthy pioneer, slightly overheated, add in that's a South Park reference. Acclimatization, Jesus fucking Christ. Let him sleep for a couple of days and avoid the sun. Viola summed up, waving a cotton swab with ammonia under my nose. When he comes to his senses, give him some broth to drink. I will arrange that the kitchen prepares separately for Persunov. How does she know my last name? In the evening, he can have kefir and a couple of buns. And no early wake-ups. Isn't that right, Pioneer? She looked at me meaningfully and winked again. Right. That's harmful for me. Okay. When she finished her inspection, she gave me another meaningful look, so I hurried to straighten my t-shirt and disappeared through the door. Perfect. Semyon, once you come to your senses, march to the warehouse. Get yourself a mattress and bed sheets. A pioneer must take care of his own bed. I looked at Slavia. So he's supposed to say, what kind of dick kind of thing is that? So he's supposed to relax and, but he has to get his own bed? Oh well, okay. I'll meet you there. Convinced that nothing threatened my health, Slavia smiled and followed the nurse. I should also go. Settle down here for now. We'll find you a place later. Supper is scheduled to be later in the evening. Don't forget about that. But I like it. He doesn't immediately stay with Olga. I mean, maybe he will in the end because they have no room or something, some nonsense like this. But this isn't plan A. I always wondered kind of about that. What about that broth? Make your bed first, then go to the canteen. Squad leader stated categorically. Will you manage? I'll try. That's good. See you when it's supper. Am I not getting something? If they don't know where to put him, how can he make his bed? Or did I just misunderstand and he's supposed to stay here? We'll see. She fluttered out the door after Slavia. Where do I carry the clothes? I asked the void, with a completely expected result. I successfully lost the coat on the bus, so it was up to the sweater. I immediately got rid of it, hung it on the back of the bed, and took off my shoes, vowing to myself either to get proper shoes for the weather or to go barefoot. I stayed in a single indigo denim t-shirt and wondered if it would be too proactive to wear such things in the Soviet camp. After a moment of thought, I decided that a t-shirt would be more appropriate in the summer heat than a sweater, even with the bourgeois inscription on the chest. Ah, fuck, I didn't. I didn't pay attention when he saw himself in the mirror. What kind of t-shirt was it? In the end, the little one over there in the USSR shirt runs around and everything is fine. How am I worse? I will commune the masses to woven cotton. Day 1. Electronic. Well, I can look for answers to questions on a full stomach. As in the very proverb about the fact that a Russian on an empty stomach does not want to think or do. For real? For real? In German it's actually the other way around. Like in German we say, how do you translate that? A full stomach doesn't like to study. And if it's full, he can't. What? Now I'm confused. Wait a minute. Was that something that was translated badly? As in the proverb about the fact that a Russian on an empty stomach does not want to think or do, and if it's full, he can't. Ah, okay, that's okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. Ah, fucking hell! Did we? Ah, no! Oh no! Oh no! Did we skip to the? Where do we? Did we skip? Oh, we skipped back. Oh shit. Oh wait, there we go. After a moment of thought, I decided in the end. Alright, there we go. Now we're... Okay, someone called me. I looked back. Wow, the first male creature that I managed to meet. A disheveled guy with a scattering of small freckles. Classic mid-face. This fucking asshole. I don't know how you are behaving in your late 20s or 30s or whatever Semyon was. But do you run around and look everyone in the face and say mid, beautiful, mid? Maybe it's just me. Maybe people do that. But I feel like I don't do that. We already, maybe, of course, and now somebody, I'm 100% sure, somebody in the comments will yell at me like, yeah, everyone does that, everyone automatically does it. Of course, everyone automatically does that to a degree. But like, also to a conscious degree, everyone, like ranking everyone, oh, she's so beautiful, I can talk to her. Oh, he's mid, I can talk to him, you know. What kind of fuck is that? We already have a Semyon, which means either Vasily or Sergei. Yep. Hello. He stretched out his hand. Nice to meet you. I'm Electronic. A real one. You can call me that. A real Electronic. Of goddamn course. And on his shirt he's hiding a power plug. Cosplayer, right? The Russian land is not scarce with idiots. And okay, to be fair, someone once explained to me like Electronic, and I forgot. He was also a reference to something. Was it to a TV show or something like that? I don't remember anymore. But the thing is, if that happened to me, to be fair, I'm complaining about Semyon being an asshole. But right in that moment, I also think, like, Jesus fucking Christ, everyone is playing Pioneer here, and now also this dude is playing like this TV or whatever figure. Russia is really not scarce of idiots, or whatever country I'm in that case. Got it. Ulyanka also calls me Syroyeshka. Syrochka? Gee, I really need the Cyrillic letters. Judging by the disgruntled expression on his face, he categorically did not like this nickname. You know, that's pretty accurate. You'd have to try hard to find a shroom like him. That's my last name. Syroyeshkin. Yeah, I thought so. You just... don't worry, okay? Unfortunately, his handshake was firm enough that I didn't have time to take my hand away, and he has already switched to a new topic. How can I not worry? We need to bring you bedding and show so much more in the camp to you. Let's go, faster. He turned to the right and, not looking to see if I was following him, rushed towards the square. Is it true that you came in winter clothes? I examined myself carefully. T-shirt, jeans, barefoot. Nah, license slender. That's what I thought too. This Ulyanka or something. Ulyanka, is that the one that... small, red, mischievous. She in general has little credibility, but girls can believe. After a couple of minutes, we were already approaching a grey shed with a huge gate on the front side. I feel like this is also not a picture in the original game, but I wouldn't swear an oath on it. Don't think it's just like that on the outside. Inside there is isolation and everything is clean. After all, there's not only bedding, there's also kinds of inventory and skis and balls. Yeah. Skis? What? There are also winter shifts? I wasn't that lucky yet. They say it's a lot of fun here on New Year's Eve. They dress up Genda, they bring a Christmas tree from the land, a huge blue one. Oh, I wish I could see this. You'll manage eventually. Alright, good point here. I was surprised that he didn't wonder about Genda. Oh well. He had already begun to frankly annoy me with his chatter, so I hastened to remind him of the purpose of the walk. Lead to your chatelaine or whoever is in charge of your linens. We walked around the building and approached the wide open door. Through it one could see a semi-dark room with 3-story wooden shelves, on each of which lay rolled up mattress. The filling was a pillow wrapped in a thin woolen blanket. Nah, that is definitely not in the game. That is again custom made. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. That's actually pretty cool. Like, this is obviously like a real place, so it's not quite in the style of Everlasting Summer, where everything is drawn. But again, still, like, actually going through the hassle of either taking a photo or photoshopping it yourself. It's pretty cool. Oh, hey guys, hold up. I'll come out soon. A few minutes later, a disheveled and blushing Slavia appeared from behind the shelves, tugging at her clothes. Do you want to tell us something? Electronic carefully inquired. I stood in a stupor, as I always did when I accidentally found myself drawn into other people's secrets. I definitely don't understand something. Could you just bring me here and control the broth handout, the issuing of uniforms, the ironing of the shirt, the setting for allowance, and a whole bunch of other subtle moments? Slavia laughed when she saw my eyes square up. Oops. Apology accepted. Grab any bed you like. Okay. I iron out the uniform and put it in order, but for today, use your civilian clothes, alright? I responded with a nod. Oh, almost forgot. What's your shoe size? 45. Sylvia looked at me strangely, more accurately at my feet. Well, what did you expect at my, shit. Currently I'm way younger than my real self. How can it be 45? I mean, with 18, you can have a shoe size of 45. I mean, of course, that's tall, that's big, but not impossible. Though it doesn't look like much has changed. Noticing my confusion, Slavia, without waiting for an answer, disappeared behind the shelves, and a minute later returned with a pair of sandals. Anything is better than walking barefoot. Even if there are no drunken tourists throwing broken glass into the grass, there are always bumps and pebbles that are somewhat unpleasant to step on with bare feet. Try these. If they don't fit, I'll get another pair. Picked by eye. And don't wear socks yet. Put them on after you wash your feet. Thanks, Mom. However, Slavia's eye turned around to be trained. The sandals were just right. Without socks, of course, the sensations were not very pleasant. Feels stuck to the soles, and I will probably rub off a heel, but it's still better than barefoot. Thanks, Slavia. Have fun. Okay, to be honest, I don't... sometimes, we know the translation is a little bit wonky because it is mostly machine-made. But I didn't completely understand. So Slavia was embarrassed because she was there in her like sports clothes. Is that it? Was that where she was embarrassed? Or was she? I don't. Okay, I don't. Explain it to me in the comments, please. A few minutes later, having dropped off the bed in the squad's leader's house, I was already moving towards the square. Oh, excursion on day 1. Let's start the tour from the square. There are all our sites. Genda and... I skeptically raised an eyebrow. And... he looked lost. And suddenly lit up. And Lena! Look, Semyon, Lena! I wouldn't argue Lena is quite a prominent girl, but calling her a landmark... I stifled a laugh. Does she know what you just called her? Of course. He jumped up to the girl and started chatting. Lena, hello. This is the new guy. Say hello. And what is she supposed to say? Thoughts rushed around in panic. Hi. You already knew each other, kind of. Yes. She looked up from her book for a second, looked at me, and immediately, blushing to her ears, hid behind the book, trying her best not to notice our presence. I smiled involuntarily. That's how much her behavior resembled my own. But nah, I won't blush. I'm too old for that. But in general, the attempt to hide from the interlocutor is close and understandable to me. However, what does it say on his shirt? I can't really tell. However, judging by the picture in the mirror, my old age remained on the frosty streets of the city. Okay, let's go further. There are still a lot of sights waiting. That's all, folks. It seems that it was enough for Electronic to say hello to a person to consider him almost a friend. And then there is me, who forgets the name of a person 5 seconds after it was spoken. Hey, to be fair, I get that. I'm even worse with faces. Like names I can remember, but faces, that's so bad. I so often meet people, especially in work, that greet me and I have no fucking idea who they are. It was nice to meet you, Lena. I shouted over my shoulder, carried on by the indefatigable guide. Lena shuddered and, although it seemed fantastic to me, she blushed even more. So, what other sites are on our seeing menu? Hold on. We were already approaching a new object of interest. As it was easy to guess from the Scottish outlines, in front of us was the canteen. And here we have... yeah, I already figured it out. We intake organic foods here. On the porch stood a girl with red hair, pinned into 2 tails. She accepted my flat witticism approvingly and even grinned. Apparently, my joke is from Yevgeny Vaganich are going to be fairly popular. Russian comedian often used a synonym for unfunny jokes, okay. And that is... Electronic switch to a whisper that only the deaf would not hear. Oh, Alisa. She's always in a bad mood. A fire girl. Splashing girl. She's that mad? No, she's just... Her last name is Dvachevskaya. But if you try calling her Dvache... excuse me. What the hell did you just say? Alisa immediately jumped off the porch and started heading our way. Alright. You're on your own now. What? I asked with an excessively smart face. Electronic has vanished, and I, for some reason, froze up and watched my imminent demise approach. Run after him or do nothing? To be honest, I feel like running after him. I mean, we could have a nice talk with Alisa, but it doesn't seem like she's in the mood now, does it? So maybe we'll try run after him. On the other hand, that makes us look more suspicious than necessary, doesn't it? Sorry, I had to drink a little bit. Yeah, let's run after him. Deciding that it was better not to tease the geese, I ran after Electronic and soon caught up with him. After a little thought, he sharply turned into the direction of the warehouses, and, not reaching them, jumped straight from the path into the thick grass. I, struggling with the laughter choking me, hid nearby. Alisa, completely pissed off, rushed along the path without looking around and disappeared behind the warehouse. After waiting a few minutes to calm down, Electronic breathed a sigh of relief and got out of the grass. Well, seems like we lost her. To be honest, maybe I should have talked to her. Like in real life, I wouldn't have run away either. So far in this playthrough, I'm always deciding against what I would do in real life. Although I usually try to do it the other way around. Oh well. His look left much to be desired. She thinks she knows where to look for me. Now she will turn to the club and will try to ambush me there. And I won't go there. Too dangerous. I already guessed what could come out of being ambushed by Dvashevskaya, so I nodded sympathetically. Or Dvashevskaya, I'm not sure. Probably Dvashevskaya. Oh well, we just need to survive until supper, and then we'll be out of the woods. At least I think so. He looked with displeasure at his clothes stained with herbal juices. Ugh, dirtied my clothes. Alright, go somewhere by yourself and I'll clean up in the meantime. See you at supper. After a little thought, I went to the side, where I heard elastic blows on the ball. Looks like they are playing football. Sometime later, I reached the place I was looking for, and, sitting on one of the benches standing around the perimeter of the field, stared thoughtfully at the field. The match was in full swing and I couldn't help staring. Once upon a time I was good at handling a ball, but my priorities never included sports. Children briskly rushed around the field, but even from the constantly moving crowd, one stood out. The fastest, most restless. Oh, I immediately recognized the red hair. That's true. Slavia didn't let her do dirty things, but you have to release the energy somehow. The ball rolled under my feet and I, taking it on my foot, fired it back. Oh, not my best shot. Hey, you! The girl shouted. I think Slavia called her Uliana. Let's play. I pondered. Why not? On the other hand, playing in sandals and warm trousers. Maybe next time. You're boring. After verbally flatting me, she went back into the game. I got off the bench and, for a change, drew attention to the bars standing right there. Not too long ago, a certain word was popular. Workout, meaning the most trivial thing, love for hanging at the metal bars. After watching a couple of videos on YouTube, I even began to hang on my horizontal bar in the yard, but quickly abandoned the idea. But before I wasn't that bad. I need to decide what kind of body they zipped over to me and whether it is able to pull itself up at least a dozen times. Fingers, unaccustomed to loads, did not want to fit correctly. Then the center of mass drifted somewhere. Finally yelling at myself, I jumped up and hung on the bar, keeping my back straight, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An entire chorus rang out behind my back. 25! Fucking hell! What? Found yourself some free entertainment? I instantly unclenched my hands and jumped to the ground. Show's over. I bowed. Lazy Bones, that is what you are. The girl wanted to say something else offensive, but she was interrupted by the signals of the immortal grab a spoon and grab some bread. Race to the canteen. Last one's a rotten tomato. The children roared and pushing rushed towards the dining room. You know what? I think that's actually a pretty good place to stop, isn't it? Yeah, let's see what we'll see at the dining room. I'm right now thinking, did we already meet everyone? I mean, we didn't talk yet to Miku. But, and I mean, we also didn't really talk to Alisa. We also haven't met Shurik yet. But except for that... Well, I mean, we're fairly quickly introduced to the cast. But I guess that makes sense. I mean, so far I enjoy the story. I like the little differences, like getting yourself ready and, you know, for your room and stuff like that. Seems more appropriate overall. The only thing I sometimes hate is how full of prejudice Semyon is. But then again, it is what it is, isn't it? And sometimes he's right. I mean, sometimes he's also right. I also enjoyed how they tried to go a little bit of a different route. Like Semyon being a little bit more, you know, surprised by all the things that happen. But again, by now, he kind of... After his initial shock, you know, he's now taking it again very well. So, I mean, we'll see if he starts to wonder more about the situation again. And I mean, I get it. You're thrown in a situation, you're trying to make the best out of it. Oh well, let's see where the story goes. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.